And let there be sound. Hello, everybody. My name is Kirby Kwan Jr. As you can finally see all of us in the same room for our first live in-person installment of our Are You Cosplay Operations conference.
Hi.
So the first thing that we will do is we will talk about exactly what on earth we have been doing on our own since the attack of COVID-19. So we shall start with Shane, since technically you are the founder of this. So what have you been up to and what have you been doing?
I've basically just been focusing on myself, to be honest. A lot of it was basically figuring out, potential, new leadership, new management, stuff like that, as well as figuring out, what exactly is happening with the space. Outside of that, partially planning out my own cosplays, but also it's more of been just figuring out my own life about, future prospects.
Okay, and Chelsea, what have you been doing as of late?
Yeah, I think there was especially because of COVID, a lot of people have been thinking about what they're doing with their lives and what really makes them happy. Cosplay definitely makes you happy, so I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I know, right? I'm here. Hi, guys. So I work at a hospital, so I've been working a lot more. It's been really tough, but we're pulling through. In terms of cosplay, it's been a very slow progression. I think I'm working full time now, so it's kind of hard to be up 4 a.m. and then have to come home and do more stuff. So my Bowser has been incredibly slow, but something super exciting happened. I have my very first commission, guys.
Whoa!
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats! Yeah,
I know. It's I couldn't believe it. The moment someone contacts you and they're willing to pay, it's I don't know. It just my heart. I was at work, my mask. I'm oh my god, it was so crazy. So yeah, I don't know if I should mention what I'm making here or if I should just
entirely up to you.
We'll keep it a secret.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, slow progression. So
Jeez,
Bowser's
I heard saving lives, huh?
Yeah, trying. So yeah, Bowser's really gonna have to be put on the back burner. Because I'll be making 2 costumes actually. So I know, and it's due in Halloween.
Ooh.
If it's not canceled.
I really hope Halloween doesn't get canceled this year because it's on a Saturday and everything too.
I know.
The weather is supposed to be very nice and everything.
Wasn't it on a weekday last year and raining? Or
it was on a Wednesday, I believe.
That's so dumb.
And I just remember the weather being absolute
yeah.
all right. Really bad.
Bad.
This isn't so the reason why we have this space is because I've been working on this space for my own personal or for our personal podcast. So that's why this is all set up and tested. Usually on that space we actually don't have the monitor showing, but that's because at work I've been able to generate these for both Shane and Chelsea.
What?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, it's from Lids. Is it what I think it is?
It could be. Shane knows about this already though.
Yeah.
He does? Oh, yay! It's an Are You Cosplay hat, guys!
Hashtag sponsored.
Right? Dream it, make it, become it. That's amazing! And it's adjustable. I have a small head. Thank you.
And of course, I have to get it in black because the joke is apparently I'm always wearing black.
Yeah. I like what you did under. What the heck is this part called?
The brim. I didn't do it. It's just I could not find the same model of hat in black for some reason.
That's fine.
Yeah, but I managed to reach out to my friend who works at Lids, and he was able to get this done for us.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
What's his name or her name?
The name Jeff.
Jeff,
Thanks,
for real?
Jeff.
No, I'm joking. I can't reveal who they are.
Okay, but thank you.
But you know who you is. Thank you very much,
You know
man.
who you are. Thank you. I love you.
So
Looks
now
like you're
Aw,
the expert.
great. Thank you. I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the time.
dope. Yeah, you should do it too, Shane.
My face looks really weird when I wear a hat.
Aw, that's okay.
Yeah, I got really wide cheekbones and chubby cheeks.
Funny
so-
you mentioned that because this guy over here, I can't fit this properly, which is why it's here strictly for display now. It seems like.
And this.
Yeah, we gave it a try.
Sick. Cute. Mysterious.
That works.
I am the hot glue.
What have you been up to?
Yeah.
So what? Yeah. So I've been basically I've been working on this space for myself and Shane, and then for the most part I've basically just been working a lot. But because I did have like 3 consecutive days off, which is rare, I was able to work on some props for myself for an upcoming Taskmaster cosplay. because I wasn't satisfied with the way that he looked in the trailers and stuff for Black Widow, the movie. So I was like, okay, let me get something that I like a little bit more, sort of in my own flavor. And when I say in my own flavor, of course, what that means is I'm just going to reuse some parts that I always had. And next week's video on our channel will actually be about the mask that I made for it. So that's what I've been up to for the most part. Aside from that, I've just been working to buy another one of these that does fit me in my face properly.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, you got a new job, right?
I did, yes. Basically, the DME at the moment is closed because of COVID. The entire university is, right? So nothing's really happening on campus. Most of us at the DME basically had to go start work elsewhere, all right, just to, make ends meet. And for me, I found work specifically at a publishing house. I'm just their marketing assistant. I'm designing like posters and social media stuff for them. Found it late into the COVID-19, but it was pretty much around the time when things started opening back up.
Okay.
So phase 3 or phase 2?
Phase 2, closer to phase 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started roughly last week of July, and then just kept going.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's been some time. Yeah.
Love the work. Sadly, it's only for like a 2 months kind of thing, all right? But there's hope that they're going to extend the contract, but we'll see.
I mean, money is money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Full-time hours.
We're all so tired. Oh my gosh.
This is legit like a bit of a miracle to find all three of us in the same vicinity at once. Like Shane and I is a different story because we do have our own podcast, but like for something RU cosplay operations related, like this is extremely rare for this to happen. Speaking of which, this is only just meant to be like a pilot, right? Because we don't know if this format will work. So if this goes well, then like you get to see not just three of us, we also see like our other members as well. Speaking of which, what stuff are we planning individually that we'll be doing for cosplay? We've heard that you're doing Bowser and a commission for somebody else. What have you been up to?
Man, it's slowly been working away at the perfect Red Hood cosplay. And the thing is, like, I constantly change my own idea about what it should look like.
Oh, it's so tough.
It is tough because he's such a popular character. And now, right, I don't know if you saw with the Arkham Knights. Gotham Knights, I think.
Okay.
Is it?
The new game?
Yeah.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, my bad. Gotham Knights. He has a new design there, and I don't necessarily like it very much because it reminds me too much of Deadpool. But there's certain aspects of it from that I would take.
Remind you of who?
Deadpool.
Who's Deadpool?
Anyways. Outside of that, I've also been slowly, I guess, working away at the Meta Knight Witcher idea. Really haven't touched it, to be honest. Just because COVID-19. And
you just said you're working on it. I think you literally said you haven't touched it. Which one is it?
Man, I have not touched it in a long time. I've basically just been brainstorming ideas behiund it, alright? But like with work, as well as like figuring out my other right now, right?
Language.
Figuring out my other stuff right now. I don't know. Like actual physical cosplays for me at the moment have kind of taken a back seat.
Okay.
Mostly because of like the full-time like work, as well as like other things that I have to be kind of like giving my attention to. Particularly like my own life stuff. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about it like later in the podcast, but yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
So for me, like I haven't really been able to work on much in regards to the Super Smash Brothers thing, having Link and Assassin's Creed, because I realized there would be a lot of things I would need to order from online, specifically from China, and the shipping speeds has really decreased significantly since COVID-19. Even like this prop mask that I was talking about in relation to Taskmaster, that took about like a month or two's worth of delay compared to usually if I choose ePacket, it comes in like 2 to 3 weeks, right? Turn into 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as such, I'm probably not going to do anything for that just yet until everything kind of comes back to normal and I could have more reliable shipping speeds. With that said, I'm still sculpting the anatomy. Technically, the anatomy stuff is done. I just need to assemble it and paint it, and that'll be for an upcoming Batman cosplay, which is hilariously coincidental that it just what happens at the time that we're filming this. Yesterday was DC Fandom, and they just like released a new The Batman trailer.
Yep.
And it looks nothing like that. It's like I went the opposite design direction, so it's like a good coincidence. nothing wrong with that design choice that they went with for that film, but I would love to see it even more in action. Yeah, but so far I'm seeing what I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that's like sort of what we're doing when it comes to our plans for that. Do you have any updates in regards to what is going on with the lab, when it may reopen?
So yes, we have no confirmed dates at the moment of like exactly like when the lab is going to open. We do have plans going forward right now, right, of the DME like opening back up as well as the SLC. The issue is that we are most likely going to go through with like a semi-online basis, right, for our workshops.
I guess we were ahead of the game.
Yeah. So things are majority going to be like one person like inside the lab, right, but another person's like online in the Discord, right, like either offering like virtual workshops or like virtual like information or whatever, right?
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of keep going like back and forth like that. The other idea that we had, right, we were slowly trying to figure out how we can make like no contact 3D printing a thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Basically, like social distancing, like on those like tools, right? Or if anything, just us working with it, but we constantly sanitize, and just do whatever we can with it. There's a lot of prototype ideas floating around right now. Okay. So nothing confirmed yet. We know that we're coming back for the fall semester. We just don't know in what capacity and what that's going to look like at the moment. So, yeah.
That's dope because, like, even though, like, we are fairly proficient with, like, our own tools at our own housing and stuff like that, at the end of the day, like, the reason why we run out of that lab, out of the DME is because there are so many things that they offer for us, as well as, like, any of our, like, members that do join with our operation and stuff like that. So that's why, at the end of the day, like, we do prefer to do things in person, but because of the way that things are right now, it's very difficult for us to do so, of course, because we're so hands-on, literally, and with the pun, so hands-on. Sewing machine.
Yeah.
Kindness. But yeah, it's funny though, because like what since like we've been trying at least to work on stuff on our own, what are certain things that like you guys miss about doing things in person, especially with our group members that do show on a weekly basis and stuff like that?
Oh my gosh, the community. Seriously. I okay, honestly guys, like I'm not the best cosplayer, but I already knew some basic stuff coming into RU Cosplay, but I came for the friends. So I'm glad I met you guys and everyone else from the actual club itself. But yeah, I really miss the interaction. Like I think we really did a good job creating a space where people who normally wouldn't be creative, had that opportunity to finally just put themselves out there and try something new. So, and teaching was actually a lot of fun. Yeah, our workshops were just, I don't know. No, I'm just so sad. I miss you guys. Hi.
Memories.
I
know. But yeah, I can't agree anymore. Like, to be honest, like, I really do miss the community the most. Just sort of like, being able to kind of like go there, hang out, right? People show up whenever, right? Like, no real pressure necessarily, right? And getting everyone's input on like, an idea or like, a cosplay that you're building, all right? I do miss the sort of like leadership part of it, of like, managing like the workshops and like,
the cleanup especially.
The cleanup especially.
What a mess.
And I actually do miss a lot of like the cooperation that we got, like, between the other student groups.
Oh,
yeah, that was so much fun. That one event was so much fun. If you're watching, great job.
The host? Oh, wait, I was the host.
Great job.
Thank you.
You did.
I did?
That I really do miss, and we did have ideas for that, like, this coming semester, right? Or like, just something else, right? But COVID-19, obviously everything's kind of thrown up into the air. A lot of people, I think, are now in the midst of like getting new executives.
Oh,
yeah. So we might actually be able to like work with some new people, maybe not, who knows, right?
Wow.
Yeah. For me, like, I miss, aside from obviously accessibility to like the tools that the lab offers, selfishly, I miss the ability to have air conditioning while working on my stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because I do actually work on this room. You don't see it, but just outside of frame, next to Shane is actually my pseudo workbench. And in this room, for the sake of filming and stuff, there is no air conditioning, and it is hot, especially with the studio lights, because I don't have good lighting in this room. So I rely on the studio lights. It gets hot. It does not feel good. It does help with the paint drying, I guess, but still, not the most prettiest thing. I can't like disagree with like the whole community, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what like the original mandate that you had was when we founded this operation. It was to communicate with people and share like stuff that we have learned, as well as learn from other people that may be more qualified or talented than us. Just basically to literally craft a friendship, so that if you do dream it, you can make it and you can become it.
which side is it on?
It's on the right side.
There you go.
So there's that. Strangely enough, like even like most of our workshops actually do I shouldn't say prematurely end, but they end before we expect it. Everyone still stays because of that community, because of that bond that we got. We stick to each other like contact cement.
I thought that was so cool. Because, I mean, for like a planner, I guess, yeah, nice joke. Anyway, but like, I guess like coming from the perspective of like teaching a few classes, and like probably for you too, like one of my biggest worries was like, oh, what if there's not enough time? Or, you know, like what if they're bored or whatever? But like with a good community, they kind of just like figure it out on their own, and we all just hang out, and it's pretty chill. They'll help us clean sometimes. Wow.
Which is a blessing.
I know.
We thank you guys greatly for that.
But that usually, what was it? Like we would always go for wings right after.
Yeah.
Which for the sake of nostalgia, we will be doing so after this podcast as well.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and like the number one thing that I do miss a lot of the time was just being able to hang out with everyone, right? Like even if we're not even like building a cosplay, right? It's the end of the day, right? Like, oh,
We're
like
just
the
doing
workshop's
counseling.
over. Yeah, workshop's over, right? We just chill and we hang out and we just chat, right?
Yeah. A lot of
And
story, Mark.
lots of stories.
Yeah.
But there's also like moments when you taught everyone a dance.
Yeah, that's right. Did you want to do a number?
I can't fit in the frame, so no.
Okay.
That, in my opinion, was like, I don't know. I was really proud. I was really happy.
There's a new one now. It's called the Nuna Challenge. Maybe that should be the next one.
Oh my gosh. Put up a tutorial on the Are You Cosplay?
Maybe.
Or the Instagram, whatever, man. It's cool.
We wouldn't need our boy Sydney to help us out with that.
Yeah, man. Sydney, we miss you.
Shouts to you. Yeah. So what are some potential changes, or like what are you looking forward to, you know, proceeding that if the lab opens back up and we could run our workshops again? What are some things that you guys think we could change from last year, which is really like sort of our experimental year? Because this idea was pitched to Shane by myself back like I believe even last year, like late last year, and then we just suddenly like formed everything really quickly. So what are some things that you guys think we should change or should like address or update?
Chelsea, you want to start?
Sure. I think one of the biggest things that I wish we probably worked on a little more was feedback. I mean, we tried, and everyone was so super nice. They're like, yeah, no, it's great. But like, I'm like, give me constructive feedback. Like, take me down. No, but and I think we also had like a general like goal to make them ready for Anime North, which is like Canada's like
Non-existent.
yeah, I guess because you know COVID kind of ruined a lot, but yeah, just a convention in Toronto. We wanted to prepare everyone for that convention, right? Maybe we can make it a little more structured somehow, or maybe like as a group we can make a cosplay that can stay in the DME, so we can say that the like I don't know, the club actually made something together. I don't know. Like I know we have like our like different ideas, like what if they want to take something home, you know, or you know, and that's always been great, right? I know I always love taking things home. So. Yeah, actually, what sold my heart was one of the sewing.
The plushies.
Yeah, it was the plushies. I came home to my cousin. I'm like, this is the club, guys.
Was it the snowball
I'm coming
one?
back.
Or snowman?
It was a pumpkin.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It's a pumpkin.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know what? For like a first time kind of year, I think we we did really great considering our numbers, and clearly you know the logistics of it.
Yeah.
And it really was just half a year too. It wasn't like the full year.
Yeah, that's right. Like a semester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like pretty sweet. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
You want to go ahead or?
So since I hosted this, no, you will go.
Okay. Fair.
Wow. Okay.
This is my house. Literally.
So for me, like if it came down to like what we would change, I would ask for like, more structured workshops, obviously, a bit more of like a rigorous schedule. We tried our best. We really did, like, the last time of just like planning out like what the follow-up workshop should be, like, for certain pieces. But I could tell like, certain parts were like, it's a little almost, I would say like, I don't know, redundant on certain parts, right? Or like certain like teachings with the workshops. And to me, it was just like, it's not necessarily like a make or break, right? Like it doesn't destroy the entire thing, right? But I could tell like, some people are kind of like, oh, that again. Okay.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I would also want to offer like more volunteer opportunities for people. Because the number one thing that I really liked was that people wanted to help, right?
Yeah.
People wanted to actually like, join up with the group, or I'd be like, hey, how can I help you guys? Like, we had, are we allowed to say names on this?
Let's try not to. I'm not exactly, because I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Yeah, I know where you're going. I mean,
Can I
you
say it?
already
Says it
said
anyways.
You got it. You get the editing. You can do it.
It's
Sure.
It's
So mystery man number one.
yeah, mystery man number one. I would say that just seeing like the amount that he wanted to help with,
Yeah.
all right, like he helped us out with our workshops. He was there almost every day,
cleaned up.
early.
Yeah, early.
Yeah.
Before
stayed
me
long.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Stayed there, all right, like till after we were done, and we were like we even traveled like out together, all right. And when it came down to like that big final event, right, like with all the other student groups, like he came in clutch. He helped us
Yeah.
out, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So to
Thank
me,
you.
it's like if we could just offer more opportunities like that, bring more people in, all right. I could see that also as a pull for like new members, all right. Like it'd work out fantastically, right? Outside of that, I would say, I want more organization.
Oh yeah.
Behind some of the tools and
Fair.
behind some of this stuff,
Yeah.
because the storage room, all right, is like this horrific symphony, right? I know where everything is. No one else does.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, just basic organization would be the number one thing. So yeah.
So for me, I'm the change. I feel like for change, it's just I like how everything is already set, but now I want things to be a little bit smoother. Is all. The machine, the way that it's built, is fine. It just needs to be oiled now. That's the thing. And then also like we actually do have a new member that on our team that we are very excited to work with and tell you guys all about her. Of course, after we do need to brief her, you know who you is. And if this works out well, you will be here soon. But I'm looking forward to that, as well as since we do have more hands on deck now, we could spread the workload a little bit and not like you just mentioned, have me edit everything. So there's that, and I want to focus on the perfect balance, if possible, between in-person workshops at our operation, as well as posting content on our YouTube channels in case if people do miss out on it, and that could also in turn draw more people in. So it's a strategy that benefits both sides of what we do, basically. That's what I'm really looking forward to mastering this year. So it's like the first semester, 7 full year, it set the foundation strong. I feel like now we just got to build up the house.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to see how we would run for like 1 full year, just to see like, what that would look like. Because originally what I wanted to do this year was see what that full 12 months would look like, even if it's not like, a full like January to December kind of thing, right? I wanted to have the summer, right, as like a get together for our entire
Campfire.
group.
Oh. Let's all join around the campfire.
Well, I was thinking about that, like, just non-cosplay focused meetups, right? Just hangouts kind of thing, right? Because originally this summer I was planning out like, a barbecue thing, right? Everyone joined together, right? Like for a cookout or like, a potluck kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Board games, video games, whatever. But, COVID-19, basically this year almost never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of that, right, like we already kind of know what the Christmas looks like for us. We already kind of know like what January, like, you know, the winter semester looks like for us, right? Like, I was curious to see what exactly the summer would be, because Anime North was going to be our biggest project, right? It was going to be the number one thing that we were going to start hyping everyone up for, right? And like helping them out. And the one thing I really wanted was a group shot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, at Anime North, right? Of everyone in the cosplay.
Yeah.
Just to have that on the Facebook page, right? But yeah.
What's wrong with my banner? What's wrong with my banner?
Nothing's wrong with your banner, nothing at all right? But having like a shot of like, you know, all of our members at the time, right? Like that's really nice.
And that is one of the reasons why we opt for a group page on Facebook rather than like a standard business page. Because at the end of the day, we are like, we are a group of people, and it's a community.
Oh,
That's
come on.
oh yeah, fair.
Anyways, bad jokes are over now. But because we're running low on time right now, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. So stay tuned.
See you in a bit.
And we're back. All right, so the first half was dedicated to sort of catching y'all up as to what like we're doing and like the lab and everything. So we actually do have a topic for today's discussion, which would be getting into cosplay shape, and if you were to do so before, after, or as you were making your costume. So, is there anyone that want to start first? Actually, I guess we should have discussed this during the break.
Probably. I could go. So the only time that I ever really like hunkered down, right, and like tried to get in like, you know, full blown physical shape for one of my cosplays was
Try to Arnold Schwarzenegger yourself.
Yeah. I tried basically giving myself like as much bicep and triceps as I can for a cosplay for Blood Moon Shen from League of Legends. And the reason why is because he's completely sleeveless, right? If you look at his skin, all right, is basically just like a red like sleeveless shirt, right, with like a scarf around his like chest here. And then it's like vacuum packed over his chest muscles and everything, right? And the thing is, I know I ain't gonna get that. I just don't know, right, how to make fabric stretch like that, and I'm probably not gonna get like, you know, 6-pack abs.
You could have sculpted
and like
them.
a rock hard, maybe, and a rock hard chest, right, in time for Anime North. So I just opted for like, I'll work on the arms. And what I did was I found a workout called, what was it? I think it's called Date Arms.
Date arms?
Yeah.
Like arms for a date?
Yeah, date. Like, you're going on the date.
Wow.
Right? And I remember it vividly, right? It is like 12 of just like regular push-ups, all right? 12 like, you know, spread out like that, and then 12 like diamond, all right? And you just do that over and over and over, right? For like 2 hours, right? Yeah.
Did you do it?
I did.
Whoa.
It me up.
Language shame.
Fine, I did. It screwed me up.
You're screwing me up because I edit these.
Okay. I did it, and it screwed me up. And on top of that, I also did like bicep curls and all that stuff, right? And after about, I would say maybe 2 months of that, right, on top of like, you know, the work, like the actual like cosplay building schedule, I gained almost no muscle.
Oh man.
I hurt one of my arms actually.
How sore were?
I was really sore, right? Okay. But the problem is I realize now what happened was I never gave myself the rest that I needed, right? For the muscles to actually like heal and build themselves back up, right? So the day of, all right, like, you might see some bicep. I'm trying my best. I'm like flexing, all right? I'm like, like with the swords, all right? Just like holding it as hard as I can.
Push-ups.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, not a single person even noticed or commented. They were just like, hey man, cool mask. And then they walked off.
Oh, nice.
And I was just
You're like, thanks.
I know, right?
Right on.
But yeah, like that is kind of the only thing that I have when it comes to like actually like working out for the cosplay or like trying to get fit with it. Because the other cosplay that I had was Blood Moon Yasuo, and he's a full body armored cosplay. So there's no skin, all right, no muscle, nothing showing. It doesn't even matter, right? But yeah.
So and do you, in your opinion, what works better for you, before, after, or as you're making it?
I would say way before.
Oh, you said before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before like the actual like oh boy, before actually even like building the cosplay, I was already kind of like planning on it, right? Like I was already figuring out like, okay, no, I need like, you know, XYZ supplies, all right? I also need to get fit, all right? I need these biceps, these date arms.
My date arms.
Yeah, exactly. I need to be doing all these push-ups, you know, all that stuff, right? So I already had all that like before, right? And when it actually came down to like working out, all right. This was also during the time when I found out what the gym was.
Nice.
Was that?
I was completely new to the gym. I had no idea, like, you know, what's this piece of equipment do? Like, I just don't know, right, at that time.
What is this stick
Yeah, kind
with
of.
things on the ends? It looks like a
Do I put my neck in it?
skewer.
Well, one question I always had was just like, do I put my neck in it? Like,
in it? In
Yeah.
what?
there was like, I had one, all right, that was, it was like a rope, right? Like the rope pull,
Oh,
all right?
yeah.
Yeah. And I just had no idea what the heck I was doing in the gym at that time. I knew bicep curls and date arm push-ups.
So you're at the gym, you're like, where's the date arms?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even run or anything like that. No warm-up, nothing. It's just like, all right, I'm in the gym. Time for date arms for an hour.
Date arms.
Time for bicep curls for 1 hour.
Activate.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And the thing is, like, in a way that actually did teach me more about the gym and like working out.
I mean, hey, there's
Yeah.
always something that you gain from like your mistakes or whatever.
Yeah, I figured out as well like what it took to actually grow muscle, which is you need to rest.
How much time do you usually like give yourself to get into cosplay shape?
I would try my best to go for like 2 months.
Just 2 months?
Yeah.
Really?
2 months, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The reason why, all right, is because I usually have a lot of other things going on around the time, all right, like school or otherwise.
Okay.
And if I could just fit it into like my regular workout schedule or something like that, then absolutely.
So you go into like suicide mode and you just
In
kind of
2
go
months.
Yeah. Well, for like 2 whole months, like I basically just go insane at the gym, right? There was a time when this was, oh boy, I don't even remember. It wasn't necessarily for cosplay, but I doubled my workouts. Yeah, like the reps, everything.
But why?
I don't know, to be honest.
Wow. Could you do it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I did for like a month or two like that, alright, and I was exhausted like every time, right?
Yeah.
Still had my break days, alright, and you know, that was probably the most fit that I've been. And the thing is like if let's say I was like, you know, needing to like work out for a cosplay, alright, I'd probably do the same right now. Right?
So still the 2 months?
Yeah. Still 2, maybe 3, alright? Like depends on the time. Like, you know, if it's let's say if it was Fan Expo, alright? Absolutely. We're already in the summer, right? What else, like, you know, is really going on at that time? And the thing is, like, I do have that sort of joy when working out, right? Like,
Okay.
I do enjoy, like, you know, sort of like, guess the physical activity of it, yeah.
The soreness of it?
Exactly, yeah.
And then not letting them rest and continue to kill you?
Exactly, right? Like, the feeling of just, oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired, like, I'm
That's
done. That's like the one thing that I did enjoy. Like even when I was doing the date arm workout, right? I love that feeling, right? It didn't get me anywhere.
How about anyone?
Any dates?
Any honeys? Oh, okay.
Like I said, not a single person noticed. Everyone was just like, "Cool mask, yo! Did you make those swords yourselves?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did," and they're floppy ass selves.
I also made these guns over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, like it has to be like 2 to 3 months before.
Yeah, my question is if you recommend working out or getting into cosplay shape before that, then how much time do you end up using for building your actual cosplay?
So when it came down to my cosplays, I usually took like maybe 3 hours. Like I always build my cosplays at night. I always build my cosplays sort of like at the end of my day, right?
Okay.
It's not a good idea. I'm just gonna say now because you are tired as hell, right? But during that time, it was just basically like at the end of the day, all right, like I know that I have this amount of time to either like work on school stuff or play video games or cosplay. And I was like, so forget the school stuff.
Yeah.
Forget like everything else. I want to build this cosplay for Anime Nord.
Yeah.
Didn't help me, by the way. So just be careful.
So you would just spend 3 hours to make your costume, or what do you mean by
Pretty
that?
much. Like
From beginning to end?
Not from beginning to end. Like I would kind of spread it out like throughout the day. But my days also, like, it varied based off of, like, what I was doing, right? Because it was the summertime, all right, I knew that I had to find a job. I wasn't studying at that point, right? When I was working, like, for Blood Moon
For
Shen.
dates?
Yeah, for dates. For Blood Moon, date arm Shen.
This is it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
I was working a job, right? And so I wasn't studying or anything like that. So whenever the job was done or whatever, right, I knew I had the rest of the day to myself, right? I would either work on the cosplay, relax, or work out, right?
Oh, so you were doing this as you were working out?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would basically be like, you know, I have like a picture of Shen like in my mind. I'd be like, those arms, I need those.
Date Shen.
Exactly. Date Shen.
Biceps.
Pretty much. And when it finally came down to the point of like, you know, I finished up the cloth and everything like that for the shirt, right? It is baggy as all hell over my chest. Alright, the arms, like I said, alright, no muscle, nothing really, alright, like 2 to 3 months, not enough time, in all honesty.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my experience at least with working out up to a cosplay.
Okay.
But yeah.
So how about you? Like what do you usually do to get into cosplay shape? And do you do it before you make it, as you make it, or after you make your costume?
Okay, so after every convention, I get hyped for the next cosplay, like right away. So I guess I could say it takes about a year. Because I'm literally like in May, I'm like, oh, sick, it's going to be Anime North in a year. So like, you know.
365 days for this. I got this.
Yeah, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, there's time to like, you know, fall off, but come back. And I'm like same story as you, student, working, trying to get it all together, you know, and it's tough. I think it's tough maybe. I mean, I don't know about, I can't speak for like the male perspective, but especially like for girls and for girls now, right? Like it's all about being thick. It's all about having that hourglass figure.
I've been thick.
All right. They're all inspired by you. All these ladies.
They all want your curve.
They all want you.
I curved the wrong way.
It's okay.
I don't have the glass. It's just the hour. It's the clock.
Yeah. So like for my friend, like we can't swear, but can we talk about booties or no?
Yeah.
I think it's talk about booties, right?
I guess.
Anyway, well, long story short, I really wanted a nice booty for this because like she's a little cheeky. And it was going to be like my first very like revealing cosplay. And I think every girl kind of goes through that too. Like, and it's kind of inevitable. A lot of like characters are very revealing and, you know, but the designs are just amazing. Yeah. Right. No shaming. Been there, done that. Probably still doing it.
I mean, Shane did it too with his arms. So like,
yeah.
I tried.
Date arms. There we go. Sexualizing the arms.
They don't call me handyman for nothing.
Right. So anyways, when you said you gave yourself 2 months for your muscles to grow, I was like, that is not enough.
No.
Like, hands down, that is not enough. Yeah. Even giving myself a whole year, I was like, oh crap. But you know, there's a lot like that goes into like working out in general, right? There's your diet, which is like super important. Consistency. Girls have something like time of the month, and that also kind of like plays a role.
Sure.
It really does.
Yeah. I got 2 older sisters, I know.
Right? Okay, great. So yeah, I don't know, like if there's one thing that I can give, like I'm not a fitness guru, but like consistency. Even if it sucks, even if you can't even do like your whole set, whatever, like just do something because that's better than nothing, right? Yeah. In the end, I didn't get that booty, but it's okay. I still wore it. And it taught me a lot about like just even body positivity as well. Like you don't, like obviously we can be any size to cosplay, right? But I think also like in a very like Instagrammy age too, it's like you want that though, right? Like you want that. And it's weird because you start sacrificing things that you really love. So for me, I actually love running.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it, especially outdoors. But I'm not gonna get bootylicious running all the time. It's really a lot of like hip thrusts, thrusts and squats.
Yeah.
Sorry. Lots of thrusts.
More thrust.
Thrust and thrust and thrust and thrust.
Yeah.
By the end of this, you will be a plane.
Yeah. You will be Kirby by the end of this video. I'm playing. But
my booty is quite thick though.
yeah, there you go. Did you want to wear my Fran cosplay? You could do that.
It ain't gonna fit.
Okay. So your second question, before, after, during making cosplay. I guess what I learned from that cosplay is that I never made it adjustable. So obviously if you're working out throughout and working on it, your body's going to change. So I'd say wherever you can, make it adjustable, you know? I guess because I would start in May and also start in May for my cosplay, I'd be doing both at the same time pretty much. But obviously like whenever you have time, right? Like it sounds like you would cosplay and work out on the same day and stuff. Like that's too much for me. Yeah, that's way too much.
No, I get it, and to be honest, like that cosplay like burned me out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I drove myself insane. Like
yeah.
I couldn't sleep sometimes. Yeah, there were literal nights where like I just couldn't sleep because I was thinking to myself like, oh, like, you know, brainstorming like how the cloth
Do I
should
glue
like
this first or do I glue that first?
Yeah.
how the cloth drapes over me, like how should the shoulder like pieces look, all right, all this kind of nonsense.
How am I going to fill the shoulders?
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you know, like what I've learned, and maybe what you learned too, right? Like you work so hard for like those date muscles or the big booty. Even if you worked so hard on your cosplay and it actually looks sick, you're not going to think it looks sick because you don't have those arms or you don't have those legs or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you really need to be careful, I think, especially if you're really into like being, you know, very like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Perfectionism?
Yeah, and like trying to get that body. There's nothing wrong with that, but also know yourself, right? So yeah,
well, it's honestly like a really slippery slope, right? Like when it comes to this sort of thing, especially like as you said, like in the age of Instagram and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
The pressure's on.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pressure is really on, right? Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's not even about the body anymore. Like for Instagram, right? It's just like I want that perfect cosplay.
yeah,
I want that perfect set of armor, right? And like I don't care what it takes, right? I'm just gonna go and get it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Then you start spending too much money, and
I did not budget myself.
I do, and then I just throw it out the window. It's insane.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I've mentioned this before, like, on this podcast, but Blood Moon Shen was, like, the experiment of, like, how far can I go, right?
Oh my god.
And it was a really, really bad idea because I decided to use crazy, wacky ideas, like having a
magnets.
magnet-based harness for my swords
Shucks.
strapped to my back on a copper plate about, like, that big.
Oh, heavy,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I feel like most people, the first time they use magnets, they usually do mess up, me included. Because like I had a prop that I wanted to have like a magnetic closure where I could insert the light into it, but then like I don't know exactly what went wrong. I don't remember at least, but I was like, nah, let's just use interlocking tabs. That's way easier.
Yeah. That's much smarter. How about you, Kirby?
So for me, it's strange because it depends on your lifestyle, and I learned this because of my injury. So when I first started cosplaying back in 2014, I was actually I just joined a stunt team, right? So I was in very good like physical shape all the time, even if I didn't look it. So the thing about me was because I was already always active, I could always make the suit as I go. Sometimes I would even just straight up not work out because I was in already good shape enough. I would just work on the suit entirely. For Halloween of 2015, I believe, I made Snake Eyes V2, which is currently in the lab. I spent only 2 weeks making it, and I looked more or less identical. But granted, I do need to explain, like, the extent that I would like work my body, like it was very, very, like you said, consistency is really important because I was doing all of the jungle gym. I was doing like everything I did in tricking and martial arts and grappling and everything. So I was already, my body was literally built to look like what superheroes would do because that's basically what I was doing. Sword play, everything. So I did have the super small wrists while still having like built forearms at the time. But it did look weird because my wrists actually are extremely tiny. But like everything looked and moved like very well. Cut to 2016, I had a really major incident that happened. Like I had basically a lower back injury. And basically my approach these days is different because my body can't take that heavy workload that I would used to put into it, because I can't even. My knees is in pain. My knees is in pain. So you wanted the arms, you wanted the booty. I just want my knees back. I don't want to be no Rey Mysterio. I want my knees back. No, but because of that, the way that I approach cosplay now is I do have to plan for these things. I don't have that luxury that I did when I was younger. My health is not what it used to be. So for Shredder 2019, what I did last year was at the beginning of the year, I knew I wanted to do it already. So I always set myself 5 months. My approach was always to do it to work out as I was making the thing. But because of like unforeseen circumstances, like my parents decided to surprise me by saying, hey, your family from Asia is going to spend 3 months with us.
Yay!
Yeah. Enough. So what happened, because of that, I wasn't able to make my cosplay. Yeah. So I focused solely on slimming down, which I think I did a pretty successful job. For me, I want to say very important is because cosplay is a visual medium at the end of the day. While it is very important, don't look too much at the numbers of things. Look closer to how to get your body to look a certain way. Because me at 5'6", 210 pounds did look better, in my opinion, than I did at 5'6", 170 pounds. Because I was chubbier, hilariously, when I was lighter, and I was built more when I was 215. And I will post a photo of it if I remember to, unless I forget to. So for me, the important thing was understanding how the body is and understanding how to get it to look the way I want it, right? Because for me, which morph is it? The bigger one? Is it endomorph? Or ectomorph?
Mesomorph, endomorph, exomorph. I think you were an exo.
Yeah. So because I am an exomorph, like the beneficial things for me is I do have these like weird large shoulders, right? So I never need to worry about that. There's no padding in my deltoids, and I never need it. The problem with that is I do have a very short torso. And really wide hips that apparently girls look for.
He does have the booty.
I have the booty.
How do you know?
I got no booty.
To go on those date arms.
Now he just needs the date arms.
So for me, what I did for Shredder, because I had no choice, was I just focused solely on the body, and then I worked. But ideally, because when I first started the Shredder cosplay, it was both at the same time. And that's what I enjoyed. I find that for me, being an exomorph, like most of what I had to do doesn't really pain me like trying to put on muscle weight, because I was just trying to shed in the right areas. That's all I did. And I think I did pretty good job considering the constant changes that I had to adjust to. So these days what I do is I try to shrink everything I need to, because I already know I have the excess size everywhere else. And then wherever else does look weird, I would pad it up if I need to. But generally the way that I work things these days is I aim a goal for what I want to look like. I figure out the ideal way to look like that. And then when I make the cosplay, I give myself allowance of about 5 pounds over and 5 pounds under, and I make it adjustable enough to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
So a quick tip is, if you are an exomorph, look at your skeletal structure rather than what you like the surrounding body fat that you have on said skeleton, because the skeleton will not change, the fat will. So focus on that and those proportions in regards to how your body moves and stuff, and then work your way up or down for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how about like when should you start like working towards the cosplay? Time
frame wise, depending on how much free time I have consecutively, because I could knock out last year I proved to myself by accident that I could knock out a whole cosplay in 4 days. Don't do that though, not consecutively.
Yikes.
Because typically the way that I operate is I like to have my costume done about a month in advance from the event itself, and then within that last month is I use that month to fix up my body if I must. Obviously I didn't have that luxury last year, so by the third day, because I did like lose a lot of water weight, by the third day I drank it all back. I did look a lot more inflated than the first 2 days. Dang it. So there was like that weird inconsistency. It's like, you looked skinnier yesterday. It's like, cause I was. But the way that I operate is first 3 months body, fourth month cosplay, typically I only need 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for building the cosplay. Last month is touching up everything else. Yeah, that's the way that I work, at least.
That's
Absolutely.
good structure.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of sense.
because that's what I need now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say, just being in cosplay at Anime North is already a workout.
Oh my gosh, I know. You're sweating.
Yeah, it
Your
is
stuff
hot.
is heavy.
Most of the buildings aren't really that well air conditioned.
And all the
I think-
people.
Yeah,
right?
that's what kills
People,
it.
yeah.
The humidity and then the people and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because there was one Anime North I remember, like, it was a heat wave and people's cosplays were falling apart. Because the
hot glue?
heat...
Was
yeah.
like the melt, like the glues?
Yeah.
Holy
It was like,
cow.
it was so warm, alright, that like their actual like hot glue was activating and like melting off.
Is it? Yeah, because the foam, it's like, you know, it doesn't like
It's only-
ventilate or anything.
Yeah,
either.
foam like insulates, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no breathing, there's nothing, right? Like what you wear is essentially like a solid like block on
That
top
is
of
Yeah.
your body.
crazy. Oh my gosh, that's actually scary.
And the thing is, like, I remember my last Anime North where I went as like Blood Moon Yasuo in full body armor, right, of foam. But here's the thing: he is meant to be a samurai, right? They give no indication as to like what he wears under the body armor, right? Except it just looks like red comes out, right? So I decide, hey, I have a black hoodie. I have black track pants.
Oh my gosh.
Not even track pants, sorry. Black, like,
The sweats.
sweatpants. And I have, like, a ninja hood. I'm gonna put all that on, alright? And my armor.
Oh.
And the thing is, alright,
no.
like, I almost died.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a picture of that on our Facebook page.
I can't stress this enough because there was an Anime North where I was at the Harveys there, and then this girl basically asked me, he's like, hey, I need medical attention, and she like passed the hell out basically, right? So I can't stress this enough. If you feel like that discomfort, like it's not worth trying to sort of harm your own body just to achieve a look for just one day.
Yeah, or that weekend, like whatever, man.
Yeah.
It's not.
Honestly. Oh my
That is so crazy. Did they pass out?
Yeah, we did. So what happened was I stayed with her because thankfully I had a squad of 3 people. I stayed with her, and then my homeboy Andrew, shouts to you, and my boy William, shouts to you as well. Basically, we remember passing by like the paramedics at like the parking lot. So I'm like, you guys like so I had one of them on the phone with me at all times while I'm with the girl, and basically we were able to orchestrate to tell the guys to like help her out and everything.
Nice.
And then the mom offered us like a $50 gift card. I'm like, no.
Aw.
Yeah.
I regret it because I'm hungry now. Joking. Jokes. Life is more important than my hunger. But if you're hungry, you need to eat, you need to drink, you need to stay hydrated.
Yeah, bring some
Absolutely.
snacks. I think we talked about this already, but you know, stay hydrated.
But I
during
will
these
say though,
conventions.
like out of all the conventions in Toronto, like in general, right? Like I think Anime North is like the toughest, just because of it's in the summertime, right? Prime like heat, right? Humidity, everything like that, right? Because I'm thinking like Fan Expo, it's at the beginning of like September, end of August, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Nice and
Things
cool.
are kind of cooling off, right?
Yeah.
YetiCon, it's not even here, really.
Yeah, it's at
Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to go.
I know.
Yeah.
And there are a few smaller conventions here and there, right? But like, you know, they're kind of out there, all right, in terms of like different provinces and etc., right? I went to Otakuthon in Montreal, right? And that was actually the first time I actually like wore my Blood Moon Yasuo, yeah? And the thing about it was, all right, like it was still hot, it was still terrible, right? Like I was dripping in sweat, I was dying, right? But the whole building's air conditioned.
Oh.
Completely air conditioned.
That's different.
Yes. It was so nice.
Yeah.
Even like leaving from the parking lot up there, all right? It's not like a long walk or anything like that. As soon as you get inside from the parking lot, boom, like air conditioned, right? Immediately
Nice.
starts hitting you.
Nice.
And it was amazing.
Nice.
So honestly, watch out. Anime North is a bit difficult.
Oh man, I've only been to Anime North, guys. So this sounds like heaven right now.
Okay. So with that said, we actually are running very low on time.
Oh.
So Chelsea, where can we find you on social media?
Obviously with the RU cosplay tags, we could put them here. But my Instagram is c.redo, and I'm hoping to make a YouTube channel soon. I bought a laptop, guys. That's another thing I did.
Hey.
So.
As for myself, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and SoundCloud at Kirby Kwan Jr. That's KirbyKwanJr. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Remember, if you could dream it, you can make it, you can become it. You can see that subscribe button, and you could also click it. Stay tuned and have a good day, everybody.
See you.
All right.
All right.
Yay!
We did it.